is this really going to yield any useful information that I can improve learning on my campus? You answered that question, and they said probably not the first year. And that is why you see these, I think, 103 statements. The committee put them there on purpose because they knew that on one hand, writing improves across time and everyone owns it, but we've got to start somewhere. And so yeah, there's contradictions there, and we're hoping everyone would find them.
I just wanted to ask Maxine and Ivy and Ron and John and John if you guys are going to pick up this general education reform ball.
I'll be more than happy to be the spokesperson.
And then, it's a good segue into what's going to happen next.
I think we have to talk about the fact that not only do we produce good welders and good auto technicians and good nurses, but that we produce people who can write, think, and communicate with one another, and manipulate numbers and access and utilize information effectively. I think in general education is a place to start there. I really think we need to go beyond where we are.
Let me add to that. In 2 weeks, the deans and provosts are meeting. One of the activities is a town meeting with our new chancellor. We've put together a list of what do we consider the critical things that we are going to have to face in the system. Number 3 on that list is, do we have some policies and procedures and structures that are out of date? For example, VCCS 29, for example, general education. And so it's going to be an interesting discussion about things that I think people in the deans and provosts are seeing are long overdue to be talked about and to be re-examined. So I think the key is to check back and ask us this question again in a month from now in terms of where we're going to go with these.
I have a couple of concerns here. I suppose most of the questions that I came with are answered, although I am disappointed, highly disappointed by the bureaucratic exercise tone of what it is we must do. The student outcomes assessment coordinators across the state have worked intensively over the years to build a program of student outcomes assessment that's meaningful. And what we have learned, I speak not just from my own institution, but is that students learn best what it is they need to learn by the ways that we evaluate. We can talk about course objectives and outcomes objectives with students, but unless we evaluate them according to that, we miss the message. I am very concerned about what's being called a rubric for evaluating the writing. It's a very piecemeal approach. Does the student get the commas in the right place and some of those other kinds of things? And we want desperately for students to move from being able to cite the rules and use the rules appropriately in limited text to being able to produce their own writing in ways that writing is really used. And I would want to encourage, please, that proceeding the way that you must, and I do understand that you please revisit that rubric and perhaps look at some other definitions of rubrics, because students will ultimately want to know how the state is doing what they do.
Are you an assessment coordinator?
Yes.
There are assessment coordinators on each committee, and they have a strong voice. So if you could be sure, and that's in your packet, that you share that perspective. The committee's heard, but I think if it could be, Phyllis Ashworth is with writing, Jackie Burke.
And I will do that.
Thank you very much. Excellent points.
Janine, before you move to closure, could you speak to, by way of clarification, the calendar that's indicated on page 16?
I'll mention that the plans for what the institution in our case, the system, planned on assessing how they would assess technology, Writing was due last March to the state council, and the plan for technology was due last May. So we, have had more time to at least discuss the plans. Now, that doesn't mean that the data had to be in. Our goal was to take it out to the colleges, get some feedback, go back to the committee, let them rehash based on everything that they've heard, take it to the deans, let them look at it in a couple of weeks, present it to your college presidents next month, take it to the state board in November, and have the plans ready to go to the state council in November. Now, it doesn't mean that the plans are approved. They go through, and there is a listing in your packet of all the questions that they sent to all the institutions to ask ourselves about our plans. And so we've tried to do that. So the goal would be to try to have everything in by the end of November to the council. We're hoping that we could get going with writing once you work out some of the details, if we still continue in the same way, this fall or go through a process in the spring. Technology won't be ready because there's no assessment tool. So I think what I'm hearing is a recommendation to the chancellor to recombine a committee. Perhaps we need additional members to look at how to develop an assessment tool for information literacy. But that can be written into the plan that goes to the council on what our next steps are. I think all you'll see there is a blank statistic for us. So that when you go on council's homepage in the spring, maybe the four-year institutions have their writing plans up. I understand that theirs are done. They're having trouble with information literacy, frankly. But I think all the writing ones are done and will be up in July. Ours may not be complete, but we might have our standard there, our definition and our standards. And so at least we're responding and moving forward. And so I think if that answers your question, that's the way I see it.
Well, yes, because I was wondering whether or not we actually had to select Vegas, such as, and I think this timetable calls for December to May.
Yeah. We're trying to get, and we're trying to, I guess you're kind of working through it as we go through this. But that's the ultimate goal, is to be able to give them something in November as far as a plan. It may not be complete, but at least, we've gone through a great effort with the task forces and bringing it out to the colleges and so forth. The state board's seen these preliminary plans. Your presidents, they saw it last month. And I guess they also saw it a couple months ago.
So you do foresee that some of the colleges will be collecting and forwarding that data sometime.
Probably January, February. It shouldn't change what you're doing.
If we were to that requirement were lifted, I would be the first to say.
I'd just like to reinforce what several people have said. It seems to me this bureaucratic haste is a problem. It's that old saying that action haste is resolution. And what I heard today, and I've heard it, I'm here as a representative of the faculty at Thomas Nelson, not as an English teacher, it's man. But I've heard from many faculty members that they're just rushing to put something in, and it's not going to be the best thing. Obviously, today we've heard over and over that English 111 is not an appropriate test of writing ability. So, but what I'm also hearing is that that's what's going to be put in because we have to put something in at a certain time, and then we'll fix the escort to make it into a Lincoln Town Car later. But you can't make an escort into a Lincoln Town Car once it's already made. And I don't want this to go in and then we're stuck with it as has happened in the past forever. There's no built-in kind of, we're going to review this in a year. That's not in the plan. It could be, it should be, but I think better would be not to put it in now and fix it later, but to fix it before we put it in.
May I respond, please?
Yeah.
You used the phrase bureaucratic haste, and I would have to say, yes, we have had to deal with that. But I'm sure you understand this committee is not doing bureaucratic haste because we sat down and said, let's do bureaucratic haste.
I understand that. I understand it's coming from somewhere
Right
else.
timelines, and it's been very, very tough. And it's just so understand, it is coming from another source. We didn't meet the original deadline. As you well know, we do miracles in the community college system, and we don't have the resources that other institutions do. If we had the resources that other institutions do, think of what we could bring off. And it gets frustrating to have to deal with these kinds of things, and let's hope that a kind of sanity will come so that we can go about what we need to do as educators with the resources that we need. And I often say that in addition to not having the physical and monetary resources, we often don't have the resource of time. And it's one of the most important resources that we overlook, that we don't have, that we desperately need.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is, do we not have the resource to say no? We're not doing it.
No, we don't.
Why not?
One of the first questions that somebody would ask is that, why is this such a big problem? Aren't you already doing this? And that's really the first thing you get, whether it's legitimate or not, but that would certainly be from the higher aims of the state board or the legislature. The first question you would hear is, why is this so difficult? Aren't you already doing this? And the point is, yes, we are, but we're not doing it the way you want it done.
Well,
That's the
Money is one answer to that question.
Yes, it is.
But we're not being evaluated institutionally on what we're doing, and that's what they're asking us to do. This is an institutional evaluation, and we're caught between efficiency and expediency.
Exactly.
And we are going the expedient route, right? Because it's expedient that we do this. It's not efficient, and the thing that I mostly object to is that it's an institutional evaluation, and it's, and we're doing it by expediency and not efficiently.
I have a question. Where are the students, I know where the students are getting the knowledge to be tested for computer competencies, for writing competencies. They're being given those skills in 117, they're being given those skills in 111. Hopefully they're building on those skills. But in the information literacy, if we're going to be based on that and assessed as an institution on those skills, where are the students getting those skills? I mean, we would like to hope that when they're doing a research paper in biology that they may be using them, but I would guess that
It varies from college to college. It really does.
if we're
Some
going to be
colleges,
assessing them
some colleges haven't built it.
VCCS-wide though, don't we need to make sure that they're all being taught that?
I'd like to answer that. I think that what you're raising here is something that I've been battling in my own head for some time, and that's, there really is no, like what you just said, that it's not standard anywhere across the VCCS system. Therefore, this is why we haven't, as a committee, come up with where do we place this test, or where do we place this, where do we pull this portfolio from? We have no idea.
The people who talked about information literacy at a conference indicated there were 12 models that one could consider. So I mean, there's a variety of things. There's no one set way to deliver. There's no one set way to assess. It's in its infancy.
Other comments?
I'm feeling as if this meeting today is a little bit too for us. I thought this was a draft. Is it going to be revised?
Yes.
Based on the comments that have come today?
Yes.
We have an opportunity to react before it goes together.
Go to the meeting in 2 weeks. We'll do our best to get that out there. I think what we can do is to put it out on probably put it out on the webpage. So you get your deans before that meeting. We do our very best. We had a little logistical problems this week with everything going on nationally. That's just we had to cancel a meeting and we have to regroup, but we're trying to move it so that we at least get some responses. Frankly, I agree. I think we all agree with what's been said. It's just a bit frustrating to try to balance, as he pointed out, the expediency against doing the right thing. Doing the right thing would mean that we'd have to start general ed review right now. That could be written into the plan. I'm just not sure if all 23 colleges would buy into that.
The point you made earlier that we are evaluating competency now. Nobody trusts anybody else. That's
That is
we hire people with master's degrees and doctors and on, and four-year institutions and two-year institutions. Now, come on up and prove it. Somebody wants us to prove it. And they don't trust us saying that we do it. They don't trust our grading. On and on and on.